actually a good guy. I kind of like him. Well, let's get this guy's... Yeah. 4 people have lost their jobs because they refused to take a nicotine test. And they were only smoking at home, too. That's the amazing thing. Yeah.
Howard.
Hey, Howard, it's the Drew and Mike show in Detroit. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Not bad. How's business?
Well, we're trying.
Yeah, I see this picture of you working out, too. You look like you're a workhorse.
That's right, yeah.
You're squatting 340 pounds?
On the machine, right.
Right.
Not free weight.
Not free weight. There is a difference.
There is a difference.
And you're a former football coach, and you started a business when you got out of football?
Yes.
And what kind of business do you guys do?
We're in employee benefits. We administer employee benefit plans.
Oh, okay. Well, that's ironic in light of all the discussion about the smokers who wouldn't take the test.
Right.
Now, how often do people have to be tested for smoking at your company?
Well, here, hold on just one second, can you?
Sure.
Go have a cigarette.
We've got a pee test.
Yeah.
There?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I turned the radio. We've only had one mandatory test so far.
Uh-huh.
We had when we put the policy in place in the fall of 2003, we told them we were going to have voluntary testing the first week of January 2004. That was the first test. Really what we were trying to find out there is who were our tobacco users.
Now, do you have any concern about, privacy issues a concern at all?
They can do, pretty much what they want to do. Anything. When we gave them 15 months, told them, we were implementing a new policy, and, are they going to go along with the policy, or are they going to do something else?
Now, where along the road were they charged the additional $50 a month for health care coverage because of their smoking?
Yeah, well, what we did, the first thing we did back in the spring of 2003, we quit hiring. Yeah.
Smokers.
Right, we quit hiring. We started drug and tobacco testing anybody who applied for a job.
Now, do you have any fear that you might miss out on a good employee who smokes, who happens to smoke a half a pack a day or 5 cigarettes a day?
No.
No?
Really?
No, we've hired, I think, about 33 people since that policy's been in, and
does this
we were able to get who we wanted.
Well, let me put it this way: what if somebody passed the tobacco test, but they actually were an alcoholic? They had a terrible drinking habit at home.
Well, yeah, we have a policy in place with for alcohol also, but
what policy is it? Because I would suspect that your extensive testing of employees would uncover any kind of alcohol abuse, I would think, because it's a blood test.
If we think we have one in the workplace, we'll address it, and we haven't had to, thank goodness.
But what if someone drinks a lot in their spare time? They're a binge drinker, say, on the weekends.
That could happen, and if we felt it was affecting their work here, we would make a move to correct it.
Yeah, but what about from a medical standpoint? Because the fact of the matter is, if you have a drinker, but maybe the person comes into work and they're all blank in vinegar. They're in there doing the job and doing it really well, and they look like they're feeling good when they come into work, but naturally the drinking is affecting their liver. And
we have it addressed in our policy. I was just going to...
It doesn't sound like you're quite as vigilant, though, about drinking.
We haven't seen any problems. You
don't have any people with drinking problems? How many employees do you have?
Right now, about 195.
And none of them binge drink?
No, I don't.
Not that you're aware of.
I haven't seen it, and we think we would know about it if it happened.
Now,
why do you think you would know? Just because they would show up late, or they wouldn't be working as well, or they'd be sleepy, or kind of out of it on the job, clearly hungover, that sort of thing?
I hear about those things. You know what I mean?
You hear about them?
Oh, sure, you could.
How would you hear about them?
Well, you may hear them through other employees.
Yeah, but you have to be careful with that, because sometimes people have it out for people, and they could pass things along.
Mm-hmm. But we haven't. It hasn't been an issue, and if it becomes an issue, we'll address it. Because we feel there are 5 things that we need to address always: drugs, tobacco, alcohol.
What about obesity?
Eating, exercise. We work on all those.
For one, I have to believe that with 195 employees, you're going to have at least one person in there who drinks a lot, statistically.
Well, we may, or it could be a spouse, that may be.
It doesn't sound like you're quite as worried about it, though, as smoking.
Yeah, it sounds like the alcohol thing isn't really that big of an issue at all.
Right now it isn't. It might be, but...
It's not right now. It's really not being looked at much.
But you don't really know.
No, we can't say that we know. Right.
Now, what about obesity? Do you have any overweight employees?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Well, now, isn't that a concern? Don't you think they bring up your medical costs?
They could. They would. I mean, I think that...
Well, it definitely does. If you read USA Today or any of the local newspapers, there's frequent articles about that, especially over the last year on obesity and how it leads to diabetes and the tremendous cost to employers that obesity these days is causing. A tremendous cost to employers is in terms of health care. Exactly what the same issues for the smokers.
Oh, yeah. Statistics say that the two, worst enemies of healthcare are tobacco and obesity.
Now, what do you do? What do you do about overweight employees?
We have classes, on class. In fact, now that tobacco we feel is out of the way, we're going to work on eating disorders.
Are you going to begin to threaten their jobs if they don't lose weight or go down to target weights for their height and
or make them pay more?
Or make them pay more?
Not at all right now.
Why wouldn't you make them pay more for health insurance? Because they are a risk.
Yeah, they are an absolute scientifically proven risk.
Yeah, but remember this: in Michigan, they're protected. Obesity is protected in Michigan, and so
is protected in terms of the fact that you can't fire a person for being outside of that range of...
You can't make employment decisions.
So, in other words...
If you could, you would, but you can't, so you... Okay.
And what we're trying... You could have...
Okay, so you can with smokers, but you can't with obesity, at least not yet in this state.
Right. We emphasize people eating healthy...
but isn't the main issue people that just eat too much, people that are overweight? And how would you approach an obese employee? How do you deal with that?
We do it through education, really, basically in the work site.
Yeah, but how do you approach the employee? Do you at some point say it's come to our attention that you may be well over the standard weight for your height, and we're concerned about the health care costs?
No, not at all.
You don't.
Why not?
We just don't.
You don't because you can't legally.
Protected and
that's why, because legally you can't. Now, do you mandate the attendance at these classes for?
No, they're voluntary.
They're voluntary.
And we have weight management classes. We pay for weight management off campus.
So what you do is you offer these classes, but you don't specifically target a certain individual. You just offer them in general to the workplace. Is that right?
Right.
But now, if you could, if overweight people were not protected, would you charge them more?
Those folks are protected.
Yeah, but if they weren't,
if they weren't, then we would decide how we might help them, get healthier.
Wouldn't you, in fact, demand that they lose the weight or else face termination? If you could?
I don't know if I would or not.
Now, why do you have sympathy for people that eat too much, but you don't have sympathy for people that smoke cigarettes?
It's a personal thing with me.
Obviously.
I wanted to eliminate...
Dictator.
I think I can work with the eating disorders through education, worksite programs.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that are overweight that have no problem with it whatsoever, and in fact, if they were flagged, they would be outraged if they're referred to as being obese or have a weight issue, especially women, as you know.
Well, I think that...
Go try to tell a woman that she's overweight and needs to attend one of your classes and see if you live. That's why you're not doing it, Howard. You know that woman will kill you.
We're making strides in that area.
Howard, do you have any gay employees?
Not that I know of.
Because they're I don't know if you read
watches.
If you read the Free Press over the weekend, homosexuals are engaging in more high-risk sex than they have in recent years, and it seems to me that would be an issue. And gay people are not protected.
Right. And and I think people can make an employment decision on that. And
you can.
But I don't. Yeah, I always like to have my attorneys tell me what I can and can't do.
Uh-huh.
So, in other words, you would prefer to hire a gay person over a smoker?
Well, I wouldn't say that. I'm not saying that. You put words in my mouth.
No, you won't hire a smoker.
Huh?
You won't hire a smoker, but you will hire a gay person.
Yeah, we're not real sure if they're gay, though. That's the problem.
So if you knew they were gay, maybe you might find a way not to hire them?
If we don't question them coming in, you know what I mean? So
why not? What if they're engaging in high-risk sex?
They could, but and that could be a problem, but we haven't addressed that situation.
You haven't addressed it.
Would you to address it?
Not right now. Not right now.
Why
not?
Are you afraid of the repercussions from that?
We've got through.
You afraid of being picketed by the gay establishment out there?
We might get picketed by the smokers, yeah.
But you're not worried about the smokers.
No, the smokers, that's gone by the way.
Oh yeah, you took care of them.
What we're focusing on right now is eating and exercise. We want to get our people more active.
What if they don't want to?
Well, that may be, but
it seems to me you're awfully interested in these people's personal lives.
That could cost people, but we could, and we could mandate certain things in the workplace as far as exercise.
Really?
You can?
Sure, we could.
You can make people do calisthenics or something?
Yeah, we could.
Why don't you do that?
You are a football coach.
Why don't you? If you can legally do that.
We might put in, you could put in a mandatory walking program. But we have...
walking for pussies.
But it seems like you're willing to do a lot of things if you legally can.
Coach, make bear crawls.
That's right.
But it seems like if you can legally do something, you're willing to do it. But I didn't think that you could do anything with people that are overweight, even though they're costing the company quite a bit of money.
Do it through worksite education and programs to help those people.
And they have a margin of error if they're not able to complete the program or whatever, then that's okay.
Right.
But not with smokers.
Not with smokers.
Why is it that you've horned in on smokers? Is it just because you legally can do it and it's not as controversial?
And I never liked it. Okay.
And you just feel because you own the company, you can do what you want, and everything else be damned. That's the end of it.
I feel that, I made a decision and I didn't want it in the workplace, and
that's the end of it.
No, but you've made a decision beyond having it in the workplace. You've said people can't smoke when they're at home.
Right. But that was. But they also had to make a decision.
Yeah, but you just said a second ago that you made a decision you don't want this in the workplace, but it's not going on in the workplace.
I understand that. But
no, you said you have a margin of error for obesity, but not for cigarettes.
For cigarettes, right.
Right. So I was just pointing out, it seems like you're horning in, you really have a personal thing with smokers.
Well, I would say yes. Mm-hmm.
What is it exactly? Because it's a legal habit, and it's a bad habit. Everyone knows that. Mm-hmm. But what is it about smokers as opposed to... Because you're a football coach, I would think people who aren't in shape, that would bug you. What bugs you so much about smokers? There's smokers that work out and do all kinds of successful things.
But I just, I know that was an area that legally we could eliminate. And so we made the move. And people had a choice. Now, as we get down the road, we don't have to be concerned about it.
No, they're gone.
Right, they're gone. Yeah.
We only had, remember, it's only 2% of the population here.
Now, what if you have people that are chewing tobacco?
Well, if that shows up on a test, on a random test, they got a problem.
Now, let me ask you something, Howard, because you've been in business for a while. There's one woman who worked for you for 14 years. Now, was she a loyal employee?
Oh, yeah, very good employee.
Now, do you feel bad about losing her job over what she does in her private time?
Well, I've known the one lady. I've known her since she was a high school student, and but that had nothing to do with it. We established a policy, gave people plenty of warning.
But what they're doing is legal.
I understand it is. But
yeah, it's legal, and they're doing it in the privacy of their own home.
Right.
I mean, it just seems to me to try to legislate people's behaviors is really outrageous.
the danger is where does it stop? I mean, you seem to want to eliminate obesity in the workplace too, but you can't legally do anything, or maybe you would. I don't know. Maybe you wouldn't. Yeah. Homosexuals, I'm not sure what you're saying exactly.
You're saying if you could identify somebody from a blood test or something that they were gay, that would be the end of it with you.
Well, I didn't say that.
Well, you said that you said the problem is you don't know if they're gay. Right, you understand that they're probably or possibly having high-risk sex, and you understand the implications of that to health care, certainly.
We'll see how they go as we get down the road. And
I just can't believe that. Why is it that you just didn't stick with the idea of not being able to smoke on grounds, not even around the building, not outside? Why not just leave it with that? Why have to take it as far as somebody's home?
And they paid $50 a month extra for health care.
And they paid extra. Why not leave it at that? Why be this far out over it?
I wanted to eliminate the habit. And the only way I could do that is do what I did.
But I mean,
but would you would you eliminate other habits if you could too?
Well, I might, but I haven't.
I guess I want to say, who died and made you king, Howard?
Yeah. What?
I guess I want to say to you is that who died and made you king? I mean, honestly.
So I have, I run a business, and.
Yeah, but as long as people don't smoke on the grounds or anywhere near the building or within the building, then fine.
But people, they come here to work. They understand the situation. Yeah,
but as long as they show up and they put in their time and they do a good job for you, what else? What else matters?
That doesn't. I get to make the rules. I just made decisions as I go. What I think is going to be good for our company, and what we did has been good. We lost 2% of our people, and
you don't feel bad at all about that 14 years into your company, and you said she was a good employee.
Yeah, real good employee, but she had 15 months to make a decision
about her something she did in her private time.
So you feel because you offered her classes to withdraw from smoking and all those sorts of things, that was plenty good enough. And if she chose to continue to smoke, then that was it.
Even though it's legal?
Even though it's legal in the privacy of her own home, that was the end of it. You gave her time to kick the habit.
We had 18 or 19 people to quit the habit, so a lot of them made the decision to do it. So.
Well, let me ask you this, Howard. You're a... well, first of all, let me mention we're talking to Howard Weymore, and Howard's been in the news a lot lately for... banning smoking not only in his workplace, but also firing people who did not comply or were not willing to be tested for tobacco. Eventually, that's how they got fired. They would not submit to the test. Howard, you like to do squats. You squat 340 pounds, correct?
On a machine.
Now, how would you like it if you worked for somebody and they said, Howard, I think that's dangerous, and I'm going to ban you from working out and from squatting that much weight. That's a lot of weight. I don't like you doing that in your personal time. Yeah. I think that's dangerous and it could hurt our program.
Yeah, that's a lot of physical activity for your age, and statistics show and that's that.
Right, then might have to make a personal choice. Do I work for this person or I go someplace else?
And it wouldn't bother you that somebody was telling you what you could do on your private time?
No different than you guys. If your boss puts in a policy that you may not like, then you have to decide,
But there's going to be no policy. I mean,
if we kicked all the smokers out of a radio station, an ad agency, a television station, a newspaper, you wouldn't have any good writers. You wouldn't have. You'd be in a lot of trouble in this kind of business.
You may not, but you have to. Everybody gets personal choice what they want to do.
Yeah, but no, they don't get personal choice because there's a legal activity they cannot engage in if they work for your company.
They had plenty of time to decide whether they wanted to go along with the policy.
Yeah, but again, Howard, it's a legal activity in the privacy of their own home on their own time.
I understand.
Do you drink alcohol?
Very little.
Very little?
Very, very little.
Well, what if somebody you worked for said no alcohol allowed? Would you just stop drinking?
Oh, if I had to make that choice.
So basically,
this is a guy that likes to make rules, and he says he would succumb to these things. I find that a little hard to believe.
It's a good thing you're so perfect, Howard. I guess thank God you don't have any bad habits and you do everything right.
No, I don't do everything right. I just feel I as an employer I get to make certain established policies, and people have to go along. People have to work here.
But you don't take anything else into account. You don't take into account that this person might be a wonderful employee. What if it was one of your best employees and they smoked 5 cigarettes a day?
Well, then they would, if they tested, they'd be gone.
Well, that doesn't sound like a good business decision.
Right.
I don't think I'd do business with you.
Well, you have to make that. That's a choice of you.
Yeah, you love it. Keeps going back to that all the time.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
it's just,
I think what's going to happen because of this is it's going to cause laws to be passed in the state covering probably homosexuals, probably covering a lot of things that are legal activities.
And in fact, we do have that state senator, the Democrat from Lansing, who does plan on introducing a bill within the next couple of weeks prohibiting employers like yourself from firing your refuser workers for legal activities they do in their own time that don't impinge on their work.
Right. Then they'll have to make a decision.
A choice and a decision.
Now, if this law was to pass, would you hire this gal back that worked for you for 14 years?
I don't know. Maybe if we had room.
Did you appreciate the work she did for your company? Did that mean anything to you?
She did a real fine job.
Does her loyalty affect you?
Those damn cigarettes.
Yes.
So no matter how loyal, no matter what kind of a relationship you had with her, the fact you saw her every day for 14 years and all that sort of thing meant absolutely nothing. You were able to disconnect her and go right to lunch and never give her another thought.
No, I gave her an opportunity to...
Everything with
I just don't want her smoking.
That's the
She's
end
a
of
great
it.
employee, but she smokes.
Yep, and just like without emotion, just cold as ice. Boom, flip the light switch, no emotion, over, next.
Well, that's...
Is that the kind of guy you are?
Not really.
Very little emotion?
Do any family members of yours smoke? Anybody in your family?
No.
Nobody smokes in your family.
And if they do, they certainly don't tell you.
Now, what would you do if someone in your family smoked?
Well, they could smoke, but they couldn't work here.
Would you let them in your house? Would they be allowed to smoke in your yard?
No.
You wouldn't let them go out the front door and smoke?
You'd throw your own mother out of a Christmas party if she lit up.
If somebody smokes and they come to visit you at your home, do you make them leave your property to have a cigarette?
Ask them not to smoke. But I've never had to do that, really.
You don't know anyone that smokes? You don't consort with people that smoke?
I have some.
You really?
I think a lot of people smoke around you. They just don't let you know about it.
Probably.
What do you do if you're at a restaurant and somebody lights up in a smoking area? Do you ask them to stop smoking?
I move.
Then you move. You make a choice. You make a decision.
Right.
And you decide to move.
Exactly. Or even stay there.
Now, how about, Howard, I think this is a reasonable question to ask. Are you interested in finding out some of the high-risk hobbies of your employees? Like, for example, motorcycle riders. That's a very dangerous hobby.
Yeah. We have... there's things that you can do to decide whether you're going to pay for those things or not.
No, but I mean, how do you deal with somebody that rides a motorcycle? Do you make them pay more?
No.
No.
Why not?
But we won't pay for medical bills if they're racing it, okay?
If they're racing it. So in other words, if somebody gets in an accident and it turns out from the accident report that it was tripped from a motorcycle, they were racing with somebody, when that report comes in, you will refuse to pay the benefits on that?
Right. And likewise, if their blood alcohol was over the state limit, we wouldn't pay for it.
So in other words, what you've got is a pretty amazing policy written as far as being employed there. You've got all these stipulations, don't you, then, as far as reason for dismissal could be this, or this, or what have you. All this is written in, isn't it?
We have certain policies that are written. Yeah, we have one on tobacco, and then we have our medical plan. And
how do you cover all of these activities? Because motorcycle riding would be one, people that ski might be another. A lot of fractures from skiing,
right,
considered high risk. I mean, there's lots of high risk hobbies that people might engage in.
Right.
Are those written in specifically? Is there something people sign regarding those hobbies?
If anything is excluded, anything that we are permitted to exclude, we put them in and tell the employees about it. Then they have to make a decision.
Or do you write in something to the effect of you write as many hobbies as you can, and then you say, or any other activity determined to be high risk by employer?
Well,
something to that effect.
whatever we write in what we're allowed to write in.
Howard, let's say if a couple of your employees were to get HIV and eventually get AIDS, which is a very expensive process and it's a horrible thing. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. Would you, at that point, think about not hiring gay people?
I might. I'd have to wait. I haven't faced that situation, but
So you think it's fair not to hire someone who's gay?
I don't know, because I don't have any way to find out.
If you could find out, though, if someone came in and said, by the way, I'm out of the closet, I'm gay, I've got a life partner, is he covered on medical insurance? Would you then not hire them?
I'm not sure.
Would you cover...
You might not. Let's put it this way. You might not hire them for that reason.
I'm not sure what I would do.
Would you would you include their life partner in medical insurance?
No.
No?
No, absolutely not. No way
never
in hell.
the million. Nobody could make you
way.
do that, could they?
God. No. No way in hell.
Do you think gay people have a problem?
Well, they may have emotional problems, but people make decisions and do things for various reasons.
Why would you not hire a gay person? If you could have that information and you had been, say, struck by the virus in terms of your medical insurance, what would be your reason for not hiring a gay person?
The only reason I wouldn't hire them, I didn't think that they're going to fit the culture here and get the job done the way we want it done.
You mean they wouldn't fit the culture with you, not with the other employees?
Well, they would. We would want them if we felt that they were well qualified. We would bring them into the situation if they were well qualified. But the thing is, you're asking a hypothetical thing. We don't know how to determine that. And
no, I give an example. Somebody wants to know if their life partner's covered in your medical insurance. You now know they're gay. They're telling you.
But I haven't had that. I haven't been faced with that. So.
No, I know. That's why I'm facing you with it, because you seem to have a interest in people's personal lives, more so than most employers do.
I don't have anything to do with their personal lives.
You have everything to do with their personal lives.
Yes,
You're trying to legislate their personal lives. You have everything to do with their personal lives.
Not at all.
No, you're telling people they can't engage in a legal habit on their private time.
Oh, they can do whatever they want on their private time.
They can't work
but
for
they
you,
can't
though.
work for you.
Can't work for me.
Well, then that's
right.
what we're going back to what we just said. Then
They can work for you.
Do you think there's anything wrong with being gay?
I don't know. I wonder about it, but I don't know about it. I haven't made any. I don't have any personal decisions. I'm sure that, I'm sure I've known people that are gay and didn't know it, I don't have any prejudices against them at all.
Would you, if you thought someone was gay and they might be, and you heard around town they were engaging in some high-risk behavior, would you fire them?
No.
You wouldn't. You wouldn't
So
only
you
because you can't, though. That's the only reason.
No,
Only
you can. You can. Yes, you can. Gay people are not covered.
Did you know that, Howard?
No, I've never investigated it.
See, that's why.
That's because you got a thing against smokers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Well, it's very, very interesting talking to you, Howard. You've got some unique ways of doing business. I don't know if this will catch on or if the state will legislate against it. What do you think the effect will be of your decision?
I don't know what other people will have to decide what they want to do. We've made our decision, and
yeah, but if this bill passes and they do end up legislating this and create a situation where you can't prohibit somebody from working for you for what they do on their own time and legal activities, then that's the end of it. No matter how you want to decide, you have to hire them.
we'd have to abide by the legislation, no question.
Right.
Do you think it's dangerous to squat press 340 pounds at the age of 70?
No.
Really?
No.
I think it is dangerous.
I do too. I think you're a high risk. That's what I think.
Well, that's interesting that
But it's a choice you've made.
But Howard feels comfortable with his own decision. He feels like he can decide for himself what's healthy on his own time.
On his own time.
But he also feels he can decide that for his smoking employees.
Yep, and for everybody else. So it's the world according to Howard.
At Waco it is, but it's Howard's company.
Yeah, I just hope this doesn't catch on, Howard. I got to tell you.
Okay.
Well, good luck to you, and appreciate your time, sir.
Thanks.
You've been very
Howard.
honest.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, bye-bye.
Well, Howard's an interesting guy.
Boy, he sure is.
He can't not tell the truth. I give him credit for that.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, he's...
Although there was some interesting swings in his answers. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Some of these emails, I swear, this is one of the most violent responses, both for and against.
Yeah.
Like this guy says, does that count as in business? Does he have a right to do what he wants? Oh, wait, it's the employee's right to work there and smoke up a storm. People don't smoke at his workplace. They pay $50 extra a month because he's deemed them to be high risk until he decided they couldn't smoke at home either.
Right.
That's what kind of got me.
These people were paying $50 a month for a long time.
Yeah, if you smoke 5 cigarettes a day at your house, is that worse than a guy that goes home and gets a little hammered every night?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or don't even look at it that way. Just the idea that whatever you do in your own home is your own business.
That's what I don't think. I think smokers are so beaten down now.
Oh,
There's some people that just can't stand smokers.
Yeah.
And, but look at that girl worked there 14 years. I wonder how much she smoked. I wonder how much of a risk was she really? It's hard to say.
It is hard to say. But, it's interesting. But some of these emails, I can't imagine where they wouldn't get it. But we're talking about a situation
it's a controversial subject.
Yeah, no. But what I'm saying is,
I will say this: they had an editorial that blasted the guy basically.
But what I'm saying is some of these people that don't seem to realize that we're talking about the business of engaging in smoking in your home, not at work.
I think a lot of people are missing that.
I mean, I don't know how. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how they're missing that.
I think they think these are people that blow smoke in people's faces at work, or stand outside the door.
Right, we're not talking about that. Not talking about smoking on site or outside the building or on the premises. We're talking about at home.
They can't do that. They've already been banned from that.
Yeah,
these are people that go home and smoke
30 miles away. 30 miles in their own home. Right. In the privacy of their own home.
I thought his comments about gay people were very interesting.
Oh, boy, you're not kidding.
Like I said, I think he has a hard time. I think he has a hard time not telling the truth, which, that's to his credit. Anyway, I'm sure he's successful. He's a former coach.
Well, he feels this is the way he feels, and that's the way it is. And the way the law is right now, he can do what he wants to do.
I tell you what, if I was an overweight person, I don't know if I'd be crazy about...
Well, I'd be watching the activities in Lansing.
He thinks he can force people to do exercises at work, too, because he doesn't like the way, their eating is or whatever.
Yeah, if he can do...
We're talking about some really personal things and private things.
Because if you order people to do calisthenics and they have a heart attack, lawsuit. That's the way our climate is now. You're going to be sued.
I don't think he would do anything that he couldn't legally do.
Well, that's obvious. That's for damn sure. He's stated that 1 million times. If he can get away with it, he's going to do it.
The 4 people, by the way...
when he's talking about the gay people, it was like, well, I don't know how to spot them.
Well, he thinks he doesn't have any gay people working for him.
Yeah.
He really thinks that.
I know he does. It's like...
I think that really... When I suggested he had a gay person working for him, I think that really bugged him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now, wait a minute.
Yeah. If I could weed him out, I sure would. But I can't, so I won't. But if I could...
What if he puts a camera in the restaurant? Well, that's not necessarily happening.
Well, if he could do it, he would.
What about these people that have a couple cigarettes when they're drinking?
Yeah.
They couldn't work there.
No, he couldn't.
That's because it would show up in their urine. No. If it shows up in your test, you're done. At all.
Uh-huh.
But they already paid $50 more for their insurance. He's already hit them up.
That happens at a lot of companies.
Well, I don't think that's unreasonable. But let's not just say smoking is the only thing people do that isn't healthy. That's
just it. There's lots of things.
That's where you get into scary stuff.
Well, you get into all kinds of things, and we also start.
Why don't we look into the spouse too? Because they're on the insurance. The kids are on the insurance. What are they into?
Well, if the spouse smokes,
how much privacy are people going to be allowed to have here?
Well, that's absolutely right. And according to his world, if you have a smoking spouse, you would be subject to secondhand smoke, which would then be fatal as far as he's concerned, because then you're going to incur higher health care costs because of the secondhand smoke.
They haven't gotten into that, but
no, they haven't.
I'm curious. I should have asked him that. What about what if the spouse smokes? They're on the insurance.
Well, I can already tell you his answer. If he could do it, he would do it.
Yeah.
But if he knew, But the other thing is, though, interesting, the business of high-risk hobbies. Skiing, motorcycle riding, all that sort of thing. When we start getting into that, it's clear to me that in his policy, he has a lot of things written up in there where
he's
it's
in the benefits business too. So
and it's a minefield. It's literally a minefield of what in his world is going to be paid for. I mean, if you go down, you break a leg, and he finds out that was because of skiing or something like that, then go back to the basically the contract you sign with him, and he's going to exclude you and bounce you out of there for payment for medical costs.
Now, I always gravitate towards the negative emails. There's a lot of emails. You should offer him a cross. He's such a perfect man. Jesus, what an ass.
Yeah.
Please mention mention the company Howard works for so we can boycott his products. No, he owns the company.
Yeah.
That's why he's able to make decisions like this. And there's nothing covering necessarily legal activities that you engage in on your own time. And there's talk about legislation in the state, though. And I don't think it's just because it's smoking. If it were something else, you probably would see the same kind of thing. You'd probably see the same kind of legislation come forward. If he was talking about drinking, the guy's a jackass. You need to make a decision to never interview him again.
Yeah, talking about a decision. My head is going to explode listening to this blank. Bottom line is that he is not the only employee on the planet, or employer on the planet. Yes, jobs are tough to come by, but I thought Nazi Germany went by the wayside. Orwell's 1984 comes to mind. It's his company, but I certainly wouldn't work for Hitler.
You guys could not get that guy. You have been beaten and will not admit it. Nice try.
Oh, come. Oh,
no.
Were you out to get him, or were you out to expose his way of thinking?
I was interested in what goes through his mind, how he thinks. I mean, he
nothing to do with getting him.
Listen back to what he said. Let's say smoking is something you hate and you don't even really have a fair way of thinking about it. Think about what he said about gay people. Well, how do I know they're gay?
Oh, yeah. And that was just it.
He was curious about that. I don't think he'd do anything illegal, but he said he would. He also said he didn't think they'd fit in the culture there.
Exactly.
What is the culture there? What's that mean?
Yeah. Huh.
I think he meant his culture, not the employees.
And the problem is he doesn't know how to identify somebody as gay unless they come right out and tell him. But other than that, he doesn't know what to do. But listen, this guy has radar going all the time. Sweep. And if he finds something that doesn't line up, if he can, he said it a million times, if he can get away with it, if there's legislation to back him, he's going to do it. Clearly that would include banning gays.
Isn't there a clause, and this is how he's operating this, that says you can be fired at any reason for anything we want to fire you for?
At will,
so
I
that
think.
covers
Something
it
like
for
that.
everything, right?
I think so, yeah.
Pretty much.
Gay people are not not aided by that kind of legislation, too. They tried to get legislation to that effect, but I think it failed. Mm-hmm. But anyway, it's an interesting discussion. It's certainly, I mean, we're not the first people that thought this was an intriguing policy. He's been written up all over the place. I think it's in Time and Newsweek.
America.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And believe me, he studied this issue. It's not like he just did it without any thought. He's got a lot of attorneys. He's in the benefits business. He's doing what he can do. He feels very strong about it. He said he's got a thing with smoking. He doesn't want people that smoke working for him, even if they don't smoke at work and they pay more. It's just he doesn't like smokers.
Jeez.
Think about it. What if he doesn't like drinkers? He decides he doesn't like drinkers.
You're looking at me.
No reason.
I did not spend the entire time in the bar at the Pistons game.
Oh, did you go? No, they didn't play last night.
No, somebody emailed you that a week or so. And I'm thinking,
much time
how
watching
expensive that would be?
Boy, I really got on your skin. Jeez. Traffic's